After what has felt like a millennia, CDPR have finally given us something new about The Witcher 4. For those of you who are not aware, The Witcher 4 and CDPR of course just made a tech reveal for The Witcher 4. It looks absolutely phenomenal, and this is what you're seeing on screen right now. This was equally as hype, if not more hype, than The Witcher 4 reveal trailer, and today we're going to talk about exactly why that is. The goal of the video today is to talk about the reveal and anything you may have missed in it, including locations, book and game references, and analysing the trailer and seeing what we can pick up on that might give us a clue as to what we can expect from The Witcher 4. But before we talk about that, I'd like to ask you guys to subscribe and maybe check out the Discord. The Discord is in the description and we talk about all things Witcher there. We have a few Witcher minigames that happen daily and it would be really nice to have some new faces there. But without further ado, let's talk about the reveal. The Witcher 4 gameplay you're seeing on screen was revealed at an Unreal Engine 5 event. To say the least, the reveal itself was rather shocking. I definitely wasn't expecting all of what we got. We got a lot of new information about Ciri. Let me quickly give a quick trailer summary and then we can get into analysing the trailer. The trailer kicks off with two unnamed men in a carriage transporting what seems to be a lot of coin. On this little coin right here, we see the Kovir and Polvis badge. This of course implies that we're going to be in Kovir at some point in The Witcher 4, however other than this, the developers do confirm it later. One of the men gets stabbed by a monster and stolen from the cart. The other man prays to Lebioda to save him, which is a nice little detail. Lebioda, however, clearly had something on because he did not save this man. He falls out of the cart atop a mountain, and the monster preys on him. The monster turns out to be a manticore and bites his head off. It then transitions to Ciri hunting the beast in a contract, so it seems, and is confirmed later. It gives a brief dialogue, and we get to see some beautiful scenery here too. That is the whole cutscene at the start of the trailer, and now we get to see some gameplay. The game is run and shown on a PS5, which is ray tracing and at 60 FPS. I think if a PS5 is getting 60 FPS on ray tracing, us PC people should be okay. I'm planning on buying a new PC anyway, not only for The Witcher 4, but for YouTube purposes. And you'll never guess who is also shown in this trailer. It is Kelpie, Ciri's horse from the books. Well, it wasn't Ciri's horse, but if you've read the books, you know that it is hers now. I quickly want to cover who Kelpie actually is and what significance this holds. Kelpie, as I mentioned, is Ciri's steed from the books. However, she wasn't always Ciri, she was actually a man named Hotspurns before she was Ciri's. Minor book spoiler alert, maybe major, she actually got Kelpie after Hotspurn died. Kelpie can actually be summoned by rubbing a magical bracelet. This is definitely a more lore accurate way to summon your horse rather than whistling and so Roach appears out of thin air. Ciri was also actually the one to name Kelpie, and it's also canon that Kelpie can clear 7-foot walls with ease, which is pretty insane, and I hope we get to do that in game. It would stop a lot of the issues like getting stuck on a tiny fence with Roach. That's really all there is to say about Kelpie that I can think of, so let's return to the trailer. We actually get a nice little bit of information about the update to horse travel. The horse is going to be more interactive and feel a lot smoother and realistic. Movement with Roach was definitely a big complaint of mine and many others in The Witcher 3, so I'm glad that they're taking that seriously. We also get a little tech preview of how the muscles are going to contract and move around while you're actually riding Kelpie. This is really specific and I'm glad that they're taking it to such lengths. They do also showcase a little bit of the nature in Kovir and what we'll be seeing when it comes to that and the wild exploration, noting how they've updated a few things there too. The world is incredibly interactive with people directly interacting with Ciri and Ciri physically or verbally responding. We can see her very physically sift through a group of people and it looks really clean. So too, she also bumps into a man carrying a crate with apples in it and the apples fall all over the place. His presumably son comes over to help pick up the apples too. The world is genuinely interactive. These may just seem like small quality of life changes, but I think these are what make or break immersion in these type of games. The vibe they're giving this small town in the trailer is absolutely immaculate and I really like it. I really like what they're doing. Stalls selling various goods, people scattered everywhere, a little bit of Witcher hate here and there, very befitting of a Witcher title. As I mentioned earlier, Ciri does actually have a horse in this race in this trailer, meaning she is actually doing something other than being a walking model. She seems to have taken a contract from this person at the docks. The contractor seemingly hired her to retrieve or check up on the goods dealers, the ones we saw at the start of the trailer, of course. Of course, we know that they met a grim fate at the hands of the Manticore, and Ciri does actually tell this news. The contractor seems to have lied to Ciri, telling her that it was salt that he'd expect. The way I figured this out is because Ciri at the start of the trailer said salt, huh? Should have never believed you, and said his name, which I couldn't really make out. But indeed, it was a drug trade he expected, I believe. Ciri's attitude is like a combo of Geralt and Yen, and I'm absolutely in love with it. She's quite short and dry like Geralt, but she's also very sarcastic like again. You could say this is how Ciri always was, but I think it's more apparent now than it was before. It's really cool that we get to see what contracts, or NPC interactions for that matter, may play out like in The Witcher 4. CDPR actually also go on to showcase NPC events that can occur in the towns and such. NPCs gather around the center of the town with fire breathers and musicians playing, and everyone was dancing and bustling around. Really nice to see the world come to life like this. A lot of the time in The Witcher 3, we would just see people gather around eternal fire priests or just walk around doing their business. As for the stalls themselves, they hold very high detail and they're all different. CDPR actually go on to flex a solid 300 plus NPCs, all thoroughly animated going about their specific business. That's a lot of people. Let's just hope my little PC can handle all of these background characters. Also, there's confirmed lore accurate Ciri sexuality, I think. A female street worker hollers at Ciri something about her being gorgeous and if she wants a fun time. This doesn't outright confirm that Ciri is bisexual as she is in the books, but I think it's worth mentioning. We get a huge shot of Lan Exeter at the end of the trailer. Ciri also begins tracking the Manticore as she sees it roaring through the sky. This shot of Lan Exeter looks insane. CDPR have done it again and made a generational graphical experience, I think. If the game looks anything like this, I'll be happy. But enough about the literal showing of the trailer now. Let's discuss a few more details that you may have missed and expand a little bit on the locations that we may see in The Witcher 4. A few confirmed and a few speculative. As I mentioned before, The Witcher 4 is going to be held in Kovir, or at least that's one of the major locations that we'll be taking part in. Kovir has 6 major locations that I think we may see in The Witcher 4. We have Pont Vanis, Lan Exeter, the Dragon Mountains, the Gulf of Praxida, the Targo River, and the Chanfanelli Bank. Definitely not going to beat out the Vivaldi Bank, but that's because Vim Vivaldi is the GOAT. I can't tell you how many times that guy's given me loans because I gambled away all of my spendings on my crippling Gwent addiction. That's enough messing around, however. So let's talk about these locations. Pont Vanis is the summer capital of Kovir. It is totally untouched by the northern wars that we all know and love. Pont Vanis would be an absolutely beautiful location to visit in The Witcher 4. It's surrounded by water on 3 fronts, as you can see on the map, and it has an incredibly nice fortress which guards the city. Lan Exeter is the one that everyone's been talking about and the one that's shown in the trailer. Lan Exeter is the winter capital of Kovir. It's located in a bay in the Gulf of Praxida in the North Sea at the mouth of the Targo. Dragon Mountains are an astonishing range. They are the northmost range of mountains in the whole of the Northern Kingdom. According to Villain Trettenmirth in the World of the Witcher book, nobody has ever crossed their peaks, and perhaps we'll be the first in The Witcher 4. And finally, we have the Gulf of Praxida and the Targo. The Gulf and Targo are both bodies of water, obviously. The Gulf has 3 rivers that empty into the Targo, the Bra, and the Buina, however you pronounce that. The Targo runs through the Gulf of Praxida and originates in the Dragon Mountains. It will be these 2 bodies that give us the most astonishing water views in The Witcher 4. I personally am very excited for a cold dip. We've spoken enough about the locations now, and you guys should have a brief understanding or a picture in your head of what they're like. I'd like to briefly discuss The Witcher 4 at the end of the video here, the bigger picture if you will, without the smaller lore details. The Witcher 4 has truly only been getting better and better the more they let us see. Every time they come out with something new, my expectations are blown completely out the water. This game genuinely looks great and I'm more than hopeful for it. I've been a major proponent for Witcher 4 support since the start. That's shown on previous videos on my channel. I'm really happy with the gameplay showings and such from the trailer, and the tech is looking phenomenal. This game I believe has serious potential to surpass The Witcher 3. Ciri's had her story a long time coming now, and I'm really glad that she's finally getting her spotlight. Introducing Kelpie is such a nice touch, and I'm very happy that they did that too. As I said, it'll be really nice to have lore accurate horses spawning out of thin air. But yeah, The Witcher 4, seriously, CDPR, if any of you are watching this video, you guys are doing absolutely amazing jobs. Let me know what you guys think of The Witcher 4 stuff in the comments below. But that will just about wrap us up for this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing as it supports the channel and the dream. I'll be covering all things Witcher 4, alongside my typical lore videos, analysis videos, what ifs potentially in the future too, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you don't want to miss any of that. My next video will be how strong is Geralt in the books, as I've talked about how strong Geralt is in the games before, but I've never really zoned in on how strong he is in the books. If you're a new Witcher fan and you want to be caught up to speed with all things Witcher, I highly recommend you stick around. The reason I say this is because I'll be covering a hell of a lot of content that will basically catch you up for the story previous to The Witcher 4, so that you're ready to consume the story of The Witcher 4. Feel free to check out my other videos too, there's a lot to choose from. I hope you all have a great day and take care of yourselves. Love.